Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover. I'm Randy Dickinson and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California.
On every episode of Video Game Hangover, we talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week, we're playing the new Cult of the Lamb expansion, Woolhaven, plus Incursion Red River.
Woolhaven.
Woolhaven. Because he's a lamb. Get it?
Right. Yep. I got it. It's just like, it sounds so, like, kind of sinister. Like, what was the scary chapter in Half-Life 2 called?
Oh.
Feels like it could have been called Woolhaven, but then it's like,
Nobody goes to Woolhaven. Yes.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called in Half-Life, but that was the thing, is that nobody goes there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, so ominous, and then you realize it's probably named after a sheep or something.
Yes. Yeah. It's an evil demonic sheep who has his own sacrificial cult, but he's cute.
Yeah. Very wholesome cult.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do those things.
Nice.
We are also gonna stream a game. Are we not gonna stream a game? We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we gonna stream this time?
Well, I think if my calendar is accurate, you're going to be out next week.
Correct.
But that doesn't stop the stream from happening. I am going to be playing The Platform 8, which is the sequel, follow-up, one of those things. Anyway, it's the next game from the creator of The Exit 8, one of my favorite games that I played last year. I imagine, I purposely have not looked up a lot about it. I imagine it will be very similar to The Exit 8 in that you walk around a mundane environment and try and spot anomalies. And then who knows what happens after that. But if my experience with The Exit 8 is any indication, this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to it. And let's see if we can get through the whole thing. See if we can find every anomaly. So should be really good. That'll be next Monday, February the 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Twitch.tv/VGHangover. I think that covers it.
Yep. All the important information. Nice. That's cool. You were quite enthusiastic about the Exit 8. I didn't realize they had made a follow-up.
Yeah. The creator has already gone to say, like, all right, made 2 of these things. That's it. Going to get back to developing all those other games that I was working on that are not in this style. So I'm kind of like, gotta savor this second one because there's not going to be any more after this.
And drag it out. Don't try to do it all in one sitting.
Yeah, maybe just find one anomaly and then come back the next week, find another one.
Yes. Yep.
Find another one. 10 years later, finally have completed the Platform 8.
But what a 10 years it was.
Oh, yeah. It's a new anomaly every week. So exciting.
Okay. Nice. Well, cool. I would, in normal circumstances, feel bad about missing that, but I am going to be someplace warm and sunny, and I have not been warm or seen the sun in a very long time here in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So I don't feel bad about that at all.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Thank you. I deserve it.
Yeah, yes, you do. Hopefully you don't run into too many anomalies while you're out.
No, 0. Like, no anomalies, please.
Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it would be a lot of fun. You never know.
No. Nope. No.
I can't say I've run into too many anomalies in just my daily life. Everything seems pretty, what's the opposite of anomalous? Just normal.
Synonymous.
Normal life. Synonymous, yeah. Everything's just very eponymous. I don't
Anonymous.
know. Anonymous. Yeah.
Everything's very eponymous.
Yeah.
Everything's very hippopotamus.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, cool. So it should be a good time.
Yeah.
I also noticed on the way in, incidentally, we have some new intro music this week.
We do. We're very excited this week, and also going forward, to have new intro and outro music by Ray 8-Bit, who is a chiptune tracker, composer. I don't know what terms they're using these days, out of somewhere in Japan. but he's got an amazing selection of work that has all been put together or I don't know if it's all put together in like Family Tracker or one of those sort of like retro chiptune production suites. But man, it sounds really great. We've got the song you heard on the way in was from his recent album, Attempts for Sound Chips Volume 1. On the way out, we've got a track from Artifact Search. And then you can also go to his Bandcamp and check out the rest of his stuff, including his most recent album, Stable Point. All really good. Really enjoying going through his catalog. So if you'd like to hear more, and I'll mention this again at the end, but you can go to ray8bit.bandcamp.com. That's REI, the number 8, and then bit. And we'll just have a link on VGHangover.com as well.
Nice. Very cool. That's a good find. And these are not, correct me if I'm wrong, these are not from video games, but sort of very kind of inspired by or in the inspiration of a video game.
Yeah, there's all original works.
Nice.
So it's very cool.
Love that.
Yeah. So really appreciate Ray 8-Bit for allowing us to use the music here, and hope you enjoy as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, good find. What else we got going on? Any other show business? Any other announcements? Do you want to announce the end of year Drunktacular net yet? Are we early? Too early?
It's never too early to start sending in questions for this year's Drunktacular 2026.
Yep.
Will probably be happening in December.
Probably. Yep. Extra Life, just 9 months away. Get your tickets now.
Yeah. Man, you could be the first person to send in a question. Ask us something that's topical now, and then see if it turns into a curveball by the end of the year. I don't know.
That'd be interesting. A little 2026 time capsule.
Yeah. How about that? I don't know. I don't even know what's going on outside right now, so it'll be a curveball no matter what it's about.
Right. Yeah. That is a good policy, DJ. Ignorance is bliss. I think that's
right.
Yeah.
You got me through 2025, and we're going to give it another round this year.
Don't give up on a thing that works. Totally. Nice. All right. Sorry.
That Jeffrey Epstein is responsible for microtransactions or loot boxes and modern gacha games or something like that.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, just wild stuff this weekend.
Right. Is nothing sacred.
No, yeah, I know everybody is we're like, oh man, they ruined predatory microtransactions. Can't believe it.
Well, damn. Maybe they'll all go away now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about video games. What would you like to start with? I was very interested in. Are you aware of? I don't know where to go with this. Video game Dispatch. Have you heard of Dispatch?
He's going on a tangent. I can't wait. Oh, Dispatch. Yes, I have heard of this game.
Think what's video game news. It came out last year. Is this
a Drunktacular question, or are you just posing it now and then
No, this is just current video game things. It came out for Steam Deck late last year. Well, I say Steam Deck because I play video games on Steam Deck, but it came out for Steam. It came out for PC last year. And it got some really good reviews. It is apparently a group of developers who used to be Telltale, and it is sort of made in the vein of kind of classic Telltale games. And it's about a group of superheroes, like The Boys. But you're a dispatcher. You're kind of a fallen superhero, and you give orders and directions to other superheroes to do good deeds and things like that. And it's basically superheroes as a bureaucracy, essentially. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be very good. It had really good voice actors and a really good story, and people were very kind of ravenous for the next episode to come out. And I was going to wait for it all to come out before attempting to play it. And then I had heard that it was coming out for Switch 2. And I was like, well, I'll just wait and I'll play it on the Switch 2.
Then I know where this is headed.
You know where this is going. And then it came out for Switch 2. And apparently the internet was incensed that it had been redacted in some way or censored in some way.
Censored, yeah.
That apparently there is a slider in the PC version of the game that you can, it's called Visual something, offensive visuals or whatever, and you can slide it off, and it puts black censored bars over male genitalia, apparently, and cartoon male genitalia, and somebody flipping another character, the bird, the middle finger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can we mention that on the show? We're gonna have to bleep that.
This is PG-13. And on the Switch 2 version of it, you could not turn that switch off. You could not uncensor your video game. And everybody on Reddit went insane simultaneously. And then there was Polygon stories and the Verge stories, and Kotaku doesn't exist anymore, but I'm sure they would have written about it if they could. IGN, that's the other one. And it was for 72 hours. It was quite a thing. Nintendo blamed the developer blamed Nintendo. And lots of people were trying to figure out how to get a refund for the game that they had bought because you couldn't see cartoon penis in it.
I really appreciate your pronunciation.
I wasn't sure what word I was going to use until I was halfway through it.
Yeah.
But
had you bought the game at this point?
I had not, and I was like, "Do I care? Is this an important thing? Should I just
Gamers
play it?"
hate anything that gets censored, though, so it's clearly extremely important.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because it's usually like naked waifu sprites and things like that. I've never said that word out loud before. Waifu? I don't know how you say it.
It's waifu.
Waifu.
I mean, maybe waifu may be another thing. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Or jiggle physics in some video game or whatever. And it's censored. You can't, because of America. But this is the first time I've seen a bunch of gamers so angry they couldn't see naked dudes. So I don't know. I don't think I care. Nintendo has since said that there has been some communication error or issue with the developer, and they're going to put out a patch that allows you to see the naked dudes again.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not sure where I stand on this. I still have not played Dispatch. I still don't know which version of it I should get. I kind of don't care, honestly, particularly if they're going to patch it, so be it. But I don't know. It was just a weird detour that the internet took last week.
Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna. I don't know where I thought that was going. I didn't hear the latest sort of conclusion to it, though, that they are going to add that slider back in, I guess, or give you control over the slider, I guess.
Right.
I was just surprised because there's other stuff on the Switch, like isn't Cyberpunk on there that's pretty explicit?
Yes.
And man, if you just look at the eShop, it's like, how is some of this stuff like? I mean, I don't know what the content of a lot of the stuff that I see on the eShop actually is, but it seems to suggest stuff that I would like. I can't believe this is on a Nintendo platform, considering sort of their history. So it was, hearing about Dispatch was like, this is the one where they draw the line. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that was inevitably where the discourse on Reddit went, was people sort of in the subject or the comment section, like documenting every naked person in every Nintendo game ever made. And admittedly, these are not Nintendo games, but games that are published on Nintendo's platform. But still, like, why draw the line, like you said, with Dispatch? And then there was a whole sort of secondary conversation about the way, kind of American society addresses sort of male nudity versus female nudity, and on and on and on. So some of it was kind of interesting, and maybe got people to sort of think differently about the way they consume games, or whether they, consume nudity, I guess. But it was just, I don't think it was on anybody's kind of bingo card for last week, and the developers were quite excited about sort of being on the Switch. And I was excited to play it on the Switch, and then I didn't. And not necessarily because of this, but it gave me pause. I was very excited about playing it on Switch 2, and then I was like, do I want to support this? What am I supporting?
Well, I think it's, we're sort of used to Nintendo making questionable decisions, but
correct. Yeah.
Again, it's odd that they singled this one out when they seem to allow all manners of other things on the eShop.
Correct.
I'm surprised that so many gamers went to bat for male nudity, though. That I just feel like it's usually like, oh, they added some clothing to the latest like costumes in Stellar Blade or whatever.
Yeah. They have announced 2 new Tomb Raider games, and there are people that are still angry that she's not as crazy sexy like she used to be with
Right.
2002 graphics. So yeah, I know people continue to carry a torch for that old version of Lara Croft. But again, I think I have kind of armor for that on the internet when it comes to the way gamers talk about women's bodies on the internet. So it was, to your point, interesting that it sort of went in the direction of defending male nudity in this case.
It does feel like it's a little bit more, I mean, it's definitely less common, I think, because, you just see like female pinup models all over the place if you look at any digital storefront.
Right.
But male nudity is still just a relatively new thing for the industry to grapple with.
Right. Yeah. I think Cyberpunk is the best example. Maybe not the best example, but is the most visible example because there apparently is male nudity in that. I've not played that game. And it is on Switch too. So it was the thing that certainly got rolled out first when they were like, but look at this game. So I don't know.
Is Baldur's Gate 3 on Switch? Probably not. I mean, this seems a little too new.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So I'm still just like really low expectations for cross-platform stuff on the Switch too. But I just remember watching somebody, I'm pretty sure it was Baldur's Gate 3. Maybe I'm mistaken, but they were like creating their character and just trying to make just a weird looking sort of gremlin guy. And at some point they clicked whatever button it is to remove all the default clothing. And it's just like, whoa. So suddenly just like, wow, they just, you can see it all.
Right on stream.
Yeah, right on the stream too, which made it even better. They're just like, oh, they're going to delete this right after it goes out.
Yikes.
So that's just another thing I think of. It's like, oh yeah, it's just, I mean, that's not even a case of like, oh, now there's male nudity. Like you didn't typically get sort of like just full frontal nudity in general in most cases, like regardless of gender. So I'm just like, well, interesting progress being made in game development.
Yep. Yeah. I still want to play Dispatch. We'll see when that happens. Yeah.
You get the Switch version in Solidarity now that they're going to fix it?
I'm not going to get it because they're going to fix it.
Because they're going to fix it. Okay.
But,
so now it's one less factor for where you end up playing it.
Yeah. I like playing games on the Switch too. So, yeah, why not? For the foreseeable future, my Steam Deck will be tied up with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, presumably.
Right. Why? I was like, I'm surprised you're not going to get it for the Steam Deck because that's like, you're just the Steam Deck guy now.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it originally because I was playing a bunch of other things on the Steam Deck. And I'm like, well, I don't need it right now. I don't, I have a lot of games kind of queued up for Steam right now.
Yeah. No, you got to distribute whatever you're playing.
Right. Across multiple platforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least 2 platforms in this case.
Right.
I don't have a third portable that I can carry around with me. Despite
you
my
have your
YouTube
old
feed.
Switch?
No, I sold that shit. It's gone.
Interesting.
Yeah. I still have the Animal Crossing Switch in a drawer somewhere, but it is not currently like connected to the internet or to my Nintendo account. I just can't bring myself to part with it. But I had a Steam Deck, a Switch OLED, that when I got the Switch 2, I sold the OLED.
Could have had
to
that
offset
platform
the price. Yeah. Yeah, well, my YouTube feed is full now of these Thor, Odin, and these like dual screen portable handheld video game systems where you can play, speaking of Nintendo, bootlegs of Nintendo games from their previous dual screen platforms, as well as single screen games too. And they're really cool looking. But I'm just not that much. I never thought I was that much of a video game tinkerer to like want to like spend several hours trying to get my emulators running correctly and stuff like that on this. And the slightest wrinkle in my ability to seamlessly play a video game on the Steam Deck just ruins my day. So I don't know that I'm the target audience for trying to get the Dolphin emulator to run properly on a dual screen setup.
Yeah, I don't know. Although, like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have pegged you as a Steam Deck user either. So maybe 5 years from now, we'll see how it's going.
Yeah. My take on those dual screen portables is if they can make one that has a cartridge slot in it where I can play all of and I have tons of DS and 3DS and even Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. If I could jam those all into one of those devices and play them on a nice, big, beautiful color HD screen or whatever, I would be all about that to sort of justify my collection and to not have to bootleg games. But it's that rub of just trying to get things to play on a device they're not meant to play on. And I'm not interested in entertaining.
What if you could just dump all your old games onto a USB stick? Or what am I saying? A USB stick? Like a memory card, probably.
Onto a zip drive?
Yeah. Plug in the first Android handheld with a zip drive.
You have to unzip it first. I like once a month I have to teach a coworker how to unzip a file. So, that's still a thing apparently that happens out in the universe.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe,
yeah.
Put them all on a little micro SD card and plug them in, and they just magically work. And
I am my biggest issue with my Odin was one of those Android handhelds is that I just don't spend enough time playing it. There's too many games. But man, that's a great little device. Yeah,
that is one of the good ones. There is a YouTuber called Retro Game Core, and he does these really long form deep dive videos into all of these emulation platforms and emulation software and hardware and stuff like that. And it's just really dynamic and interesting and very high production values. And I like his videos, even though I'm not that kind of consumer. I like that these toys exist and I like that people get very excited about them. I just can't imagine myself being that person.
It definitely takes a specific type of I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking mental fortitude to just make it through installing all the different emulators. Because it's just not, it's not as plug and play as something like, a Switch or a DS, obviously.
Right.
If you can get through it though, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh, but my point was the one that you have, the Odin, he's a big fan of that. Has high marks across the board.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah. So we should talk about current games. Would you like to talk about some current games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about Incursion Red River.
Oh, I did it. I played an extraction shooter. This is the game that I feel like I've mentioned it a couple times on the show at this point. It's called Incursion Red River. It's a single player extraction shooter. At least I thought it was. It turns out you can actually have a party of up to 4 people.
Wow.
So you can extract co-op if you want. But I think the thing that sort of sold me on it was it is not it's only single player or co-op. It's not PvP, VE like a lot of the other popular extraction shooters out there.
Oh,
so there's never any danger of some master player dropping into your game and just assassinating you before you figure out how to aim your gun and that sort of thing.
So is it just computer controlled robots that are assassinating you and ruining your day? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there's still AI assassins in there who are trying to kill you, but
gotcha.
As long as, you stay out of their way, you can mostly play it at your own pace and kind of take the time to learn how things work, which is important for someone like me who has not played an extraction shooter before. It's I have it in my notes, it's in early access, of course. It takes place in modern day Vietnam, where there are multiple factions sort of, I don't know, just sort of infighting with each other. And I thought you were going to maybe pick one of these factions to start out in, but you're a fourth faction, like a mercenary, essentially, who just goes in and does these little assignments for the other three factions, and then you gain or lose like alignment points with them depending on how the missions go, or depending on who you're helping or not helping, and that sort of thing. It's hilarious to me that I am playing a game that looks like this, though, because it's basically, it just looks like a stupid military shooter. It's, I don't know. Yeah, it's so not my, like, aesthetic. Like, even having played hours and hours of, like, Battlefield and Call of Duty or whatever, which are, like, fairly realistic military shooters, I've never been like, oh, yeah, this is my thing. Give me that M4A1 or whatever gun, and just rattling off names of actual military equipment and calibers of bullet and that sort of stuff. But you start this up and it is really just like super hardcore, like realistic military aesthetic wherever you look. So that took a little bit of getting over. But after that, it's kind of what I expected from an extraction shooter, in that you get dropped into this map and you get your assignment, and there's always this sort of threat that if you get killed, you will lose all of your equipment that you brought in with you. So there's kind of like this risk-reward factor at play. And that was fine. I felt like another thing that took me off guard with this is that it's far more like of a tactical shooter than I was expecting. Just because it's like, when I was listening to you talk about arc raiders, that was not the impression I got at all. That sounded like something maybe a little more on pace with like a Call of Duty or something, or like, I don't know if I would go as far as like Overwatch, but a little faster pace, a little more run and gun. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, yeah, it's pretty casual. It doesn't have sort of like the military nerd out kind of war porn that like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty would have. It definitely feels like you don't have to you can stare at stats all day if you want to, but it feels pretty like kind of on the fly and kind of casual. And it has just kind of a goofy, you're fighting against kind of like the rise of the robots, so it has kind of a goofy sci-fi scenario essentially that you're kind of dumped in. So it's not a sim by any means or anything like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as to call this like a sim, but it definitely feels more like what's the Tom Clancy, like Rainbow Six? Oh yeah. Or like SOCOM is maybe the series that I spent the most time with that this feels similar to, where it's that's SOCOM not an was arcade pretty shooter.
Technical.
Yeah, it's very technical. It's like very short, like time to kill. Just a few bullets does the job typically. There's not a lot of like HUD or just interface. It's kind of difficult to just like spot where enemies are. You really just have to be paying attention all the time. And this is maybe a problem with me specifically, is that it essentially turns the whole thing into an open world stealth game. And I am so sort of like meticulous when I play stealth games that as soon as it's open world and you're expected to cover large amounts of territory, it just takes me forever to do anything. Because I will just be like in full sneak mode, which it basically means I'm just creeping through the jungle like as slowly as possible. And whenever I see any sign of like an enemy settlement, I'm just like, oh, what if there's a guy there? Where can I get a better vantage point and find all the guys in this settlement? And then it just turns out there's nobody there. And I still have half a mile to go to the mission objective. But I'm just like, man, I want to, if this is going to be a stealth game, I want to do this like stealthily. I don't want to just run in, right? Guns blazing. Partly because I like just starting out, I wasn't sure sort of what to think about this. I wasn't sure if that was a viable option at all. Because like that would be a disaster if you did that in SOCOM. And so it ends up feeling closer to something like, Rainbow Six. What was the like Rainbow Six Siege was the open world one, the fairly recent one, probably like 10 years ago at this point. But in my frame of reference, that was the other day. But yeah, so it's my first couple missions. It took me a very long time to actually get close to the mission objective and do anything interesting. And part of that was also just sort of figuring out or getting a sense of like just how much resistance I was going to run into, like how many soldiers are deployed around the map. But like, did it really make sense for me to be as careful as I was being, or was I just sort of sneaking around a base? And it turns out there's just one guy there, and it was a complete non-threat the entire time. And it turns out that maybe I was playing it a little too slowly, but it's also just, again, it's not the type of game where you just run into an enemy encampment and start blasting. You really have to be a little more careful.
Right. Yeah, I think that there's a parallel there with Arc Raiders because the structure of that is, I think it's intended to be pretty short runs. Because as you sort of like, you deploy onto the map and then there's a couple of exits out of the map. So you kind of have to do the thing or collect some, assets or whatever, and then quickly get the hell out of there because eventually they start shutting down the elevators and you can't escape.
Oh, do they open another elevator at some point or are you just done?
No, well, it's a bit of a Fortnite thing is that you're trying to funnel everybody towards a single kind of remaining elevator.
Interesting.
So every few minutes, they're like, okay, this one's going offline, so you have to use this other one that's further away. But everybody on the map is getting that same message. So you if you can be quick, you can take any elevator of your choice to get the hell off the map. But if you wait too long, at least my understanding of it is you're all getting funneled towards a single point, and you have a better likelihood of getting your face shut off if you show up like last one to the elevator.
Oh yeah, everybody's gonna be waiting for you.
Right. But I, like you, I think I want to stealth these more than anything, particularly since I've played a lot of Arc Raiders solo. I'm not about running around making tons of noise because that attracts people and it attracts the robots. So yeah, I do wonder if sometimes I'm just being too slow or being too quiet and I need to play faster. Otherwise, I'm making the game harder on myself. But yeah, it does sound like, other than sort of that system of closing the elevators and getting people off the map or funneled into a single location, it does sound like your routine, your game system essentially is kind of, replicating what I've done in The Division and Arc Raiders and games like it in the past.
I did have a moment of panic where I think I was just coming up on the objective. I was supposed to plant some documents in a facility somewhere. And I was checking the map because that's another thing. So there's no mini map. You just have to check your little like military iPad or whatever constantly to look at the only map you have.
Oh.
And I was like looking at the objective and I looked over at one of the extract points, which was marked, and it said on the little device, it was like closing in 6 minutes. I was like, oh no. Well, so I have 6 minutes to find the objective and then make it to the extract point. I don't know if I can do that. And then I spent a few more minutes just trying to get the objective done. And then I looked back at my map and there was like another extract point that was marked and it was like opening in 7 minutes. I was like, okay, wait a minute. So there's sort of like this cycling pool of extraction points that you can go to. It just depends how quickly you complete the mission, which ones are going to be available.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
maybe that is happening in Arc Raiders and I'm just not aware of that, but it was my understanding that they were strategically shutting them down so everybody ended up at the same one.
Yeah. That sounds,
I'm sure
like
some
when you describe it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, of course, that's how it works. That just sounds like how it would, like any modern extraction shooter would work that way.
Yeah. And I will apologize if that's not the case. So I'll, if you are an Arc Raiders devotee, let me know.
Anyways, I successfully extracted a couple times. I was like, I don't know. I think like it is sort of exciting to just have the threat of, actual like loss and consequences if you're not playing smart. But I just felt like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm still early in the game and I'm not really familiar with sort of like what loot is on the table, that I would be like going through all the different like not not treasure chests or whatever you would call them, like whatever containers are scattered around the map that you can like find loot in. And of course, whenever you take out an enemy, you can loot their body or whatever equipment they had. And it would just be, like there was a whole range of stuff that could be on them. Like you would have all their weapons and gear and stuff like that. But then you would find stuff like food and like shampoo and like a paintbrush, and it's like some of this just feels like junk that is meant to sort of take up your time sort of sifting through their inventory and trying to determine the value of. Like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking for, because I feel like you want to take back stuff that has like monetary value, right? Because then you can spend it in the shop to get better equipment.
Right.
But it was just a baffling amount of weird like trash. It seemed like that everybody was carrying around. Like, I think at one point I found a basketball. I'm like, why is this? Like, I probably can't even throw the basketball at somebody and use it as a weird like piece of distraction equipment or something like that. It's just junk taking up somebody's inventory space.
Well, that's what I thought. Let's see, if you're finding food, is there some sort of survival system where you need to eat? But it sounds like that's not this game. Yeah.
No, like you can find like medicine, which is good if you're like bleeding or something like that. But in a few cases, I would find like a can of tuna fish. And I was like, so you can't even eat this. It's just something for you to take back and sell to the vendor. I guess if you're just, overflowing with inventory space, maybe that's one way of just maximizing the profit off of that one mission. But it always felt like there was something higher value waiting for you to pick up instead of that can of tuna fish.
Right.
So I guess I just found sort of the loop not especially enticing, maybe because of the way that they're doling out loot. Like I was expecting more of a Diablo or a Borderlands experience where, there's always something. There's always some shiny piece of gear where you're like, ooh, I can't wait to get this back to the base and, compare it with all my other stuff. Or maybe at the very least I can sell it for a decent amount of money. But in this, you just pick up so much weird stuff that it's like, I don't know if this is important or not. And I don't know how long I would need to play the game to sort of understand the value of everything. So it was a very confusing first couple of missions playing through this.
So what is the proposition of this being offline versus online? It's just for people who don't want to play video games online or don't want to play video games against other humans, or is there some reason for this to just be an offline extraction shooter?
No, I think you got it. I think it's,
okay.
You don't want to be up against other squads while you're out there.
Yeah.
And while that's a plus for me, I was also thinking like, well, the way you're describing it happening in Arc Raiders, where there are a bunch of raiding parties throughout the map, does sound a little more interesting than just being on a map full of bots by yourself. Although, I mean, at that point, it's a kind of a different game experience. And I don't think it's the one I'm looking for. I just feel like, they would need to tweak some of the knobs on the loot system in this to get it to be a little more compelling to me. Because I just I don't know. I wasn't excited really to find anything in any of the containers I was looting.
Right. Huh.
It is still in early access, though, so maybe it's something they're working on. It does seem to be pretty well received by most of the people playing it, so I don't know. I wonder if people are just more into the sort of tactical style of gameplay, though, than I am. Because that's also, I don't think is really my thing. Maybe if I was playing it with like a full squad, it could be interesting, but I was hoping for something a little lighter.
Yeah. This doesn't sound light at all.
No, it's very serious. It's about a lot of very serious guns.
I mean, Arc Raiders fight some big robots. Big,
Yeah,
dumb spider robots.
I do like a big, dumb robot fight. But in this one, it feels like at least some of your enjoyment has got to be because you are really into, like, finding the correct caliber of bullet for whatever gun you're carrying. That's another thing is, like, there's so much just sort of, like, military gear that you pick up. You got to know... Well, thankfully, it's very helpful in that whenever you pick up ammunition, it will highlight whether it's compatible with any of the guns you're carrying, or whether it's just, like, totally unusable to me. But that's such a different experience from any other, like, quote-unquote military shooter I played, where I'm just used to picking up, like, oh, you found more bullets for your gun, for all the guns you're carrying. Or maybe in some cases it'll be like, oh, you found, like, the shotgun ammo versus the sniper ammo. It's not, oh, you found some inscrutable caliber of bullet that works for some specific gun, which maybe if I spent, like, all my time on, you know, guns and ammunition forums, I would understand, like, oh, that's for this type of gun. I just need to look out for this gun. That's definitely not sort of my area of expertise. So I got the sense that maybe that is for a different type of player.
Yeah, there's there's a little bit of that in Arc Raiders. There's, like, guns take light, medium, and heavy ammo, and you just have to sort of make sure.
Okay, but like,
right. Yeah,
that's the exact amount of complexity that I feel like I could deal with. Like, any more than that, like, yeah, I don't really need that. I'm not that into guns.
Yeah. Good. Nobody should be that into guns.
I mean, I wouldn't judge people for it, but it's just like, as soon as people start talking about like, oh, I mean, just like bullets, and like there being different types of bullets, it's like, it's not really something I've ever chosen to, like, pay attention to. Yeah.
Arc Raiders will do you a solid as well, and if you're deploying and you don't have the right ammo for the weapons you're carrying, it'll tell you, oh, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Your gun only takes medium ammo, and you only have light in your inventory. You might want to fix that. So you don't get onto the battlefield and realize you don't have any ammo for your guns.
That actually reminded me. So despite all my sort of, like, frustration with the amount of complexity around the bullets and everything, something this game does, which feels like a real throwback to me, is that, so you have, like, your all your different bullets and everything, and you have your magazines for each gun. And it's not like in, like, Call of Duty or even Battlefield now, where, you know, you reload your gun and it just, like, refills it out of the big pool of bullets you've got in your backpack. It's like, no, you take the magazine, you toss out whatever bullets were remaining in there, and, like, all that goes back into your backpack. And then you've got, like, either an empty magazine or, like, a partial magazine. And at some points, whenever you have a break between firefights, you can go into your backpack and, like, manually refill all the magazines for your guns, which feels like, man, I can't remember the last time I played a game where you had to, like, put that much attention into sort of, like, the supplies you were carrying, which is kind of cool, actually. But it's a lot to think about when you're in the middle of a firefight and you're just like, oh man, how many bullets were left in my gun? How many, like, empty magazines I have to reload in case I need to, in case I just run out of bullets or something.
I know what you're asking yourself. Did he shoot 8 bullets or 9?
Yes, exactly. I remember, like, the old Battlefield games used to do it like that. Not quite like that, but, like, you would get deployed with, like, 3 or 4 magazines, and if you reloaded with extra bullets in there, those were just gone. So you really
lose them. Yes, I remember that.
Yep. You have to be much more thoughtful about reloading, which I was like, I kind of missed that. I know that, we want to just streamline every game so it's as approachable as possible, but, like, that we didn't need to get rid of that. That was still interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, sort of like reloading a gun peaked with Gears of War with the active reload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by then they were already sort of just like, hey, you got 200 bullets in your backpack, so just feed them in there as needed.
And if you can slam the reload button a second time while it's over, like the little moving bar is in the magic hitbox, then you can get a little extra damage out of your bullets when you do it.
Yeah. that is not the case in
No.
Incursion Red River.
No. Womp womp. It's one of those things that should have just been stolen and replicated in every video game.
That was one of those things where, I felt like, oh, they cracked it. Now everybody will just do this. And then nobody ever did that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's so synonymous with Gears, I think, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anyway.
Do you think you're going to keep playing this, or was this enough for you?
I don't think so. I think
you want to play some Arc Raiders with me and Twisted Blade?
I don't know. I just kind of to dip my toes in, and it turns out that I just don't really care for the game in general. But now I'm just looking for another, probably single player extraction shooter. I was thinking maybe I'll just play The Division. I'll just play one of those things. Speaking of big stupid military shooters,
yeah.
But I just felt like I wasn't vibing with just the general gameplay in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, The Division isn't, and maybe you're being facetious, but The Division is a kind of an interesting prospect in that the bulk of the game, 95% of it, is just a single or co-op sci-fi shooter, essentially. And if you want to do the extraction thing, that is the only online portion of the game.
That's the end game, right? It's like the dark zone.
Yes, that's the dark zone. Correct. Yeah. You could access it, I think, mid game. You don't have to wait to the end.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's sort of at least in the first one, it's the part of the city that, Ravenholm. That's what it was in Half-Life 2. Nobody ever goes to Ravenholm. It's sort of, it's the bad neighborhood. The conceit of that is that when you sort of take the helicopter in, you're going into a part of the city that's just lawless. And it's the only PvP. Yeah.
Oh, so that, in that case, that's, there are other squads out to kill you. So
right. Yes.
Maybe that's not my thing. I think I got my wires crossed. I was interested in The Division because I wanted something that was better than Anthem, but now I want something that's better or more interesting than Incursion Red River, but does not open me up to getting ganked online. So I'm still looking for that game.
I mean, I like those Division games. They're fun. The single player, I played them co-op. The element of it is a lot of fun. You don't have to go into the dark zone. There's good loot in there, but I only did it a few times. It's too intense for me. That's not my kind of video game.
I remember playing, I forget which one it was, and having a not terrible time with it. So I was like, yes, maybe at some point I will give it a shot. Maybe if I'm really dying for a Tom Clancy-ish military shooter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of those Tom Clancy games left. You got to get your fix where you can.
Were they just running out of Tom Clancy properties to adapt, or what's going on?
Do they make them anymore? Is there, and they don't make The Division. They don't make Splinter Cell.
I thought there was some, I mean, who knows what's going on with Ubisoft? They're having some tough times lately, but I thought there were rumblings around either a new Division or a remastered Division happening.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you what's going on with Splinter Cell, but I'm not holding out for a new one of those.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought most of the Tom Clancy games were kind of on ice right now, but I could be mistaken.
No, I mean, that sounds about right.
All right. Well, I'm sorry this wasn't the secret sauce for you.
Oh, it's fine. It's all sort of exploratory.
I mean, there can't be many single player extraction shooters out there. So
I know. I think that's the most difficult thing, is that everything else is online. So I may just be out of luck. Maybe it's not a genre for me.
So I've been playing Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven. This is the new Cult of the Lamb expansion pack. I was going to call it DLC, but they've done a bunch of DLC before, and this is much bigger and kind of grander in scale than the little. I mean, some of the cosmetic stuff they've done in the past has been pretty limited. They added a couple little modes and things like that in previous DLCs, but this is a big deal. This is a $20 expansion add-on pack for the original game.
It's been a while since this came out, right? So how big of a deal is this? Is this their answer to the 3.0 Animal Crossing thing that came out? So
maybe, yes. Yeah. Yes, you can sort of manage your village and decorate it and stuff like that. And then occasionally there are sacrifices, just like on Animal Crossing.
Yes, just like Animal Crossing.
Um, yeah, I think, geez, how long ago? It must have been 4 years, probably, since the first Cult of the Lamb came out. And they've put out pretty steadily add-ons and little expansions for it since then. But yeah, this is, I think, meant to get people back to the game. It certainly got me back to the game after having kind of cooled on it for a while. My save, when I booted it up to play Woolhaven, said I had not touched it since 2023. So
did you have to start a new game for this, or does it expect you to continue off your old save?
You have to continue off your old save because it is end game content. You have to have finished, not finished the main game. So the loop of the main game, I guess, the arc of the main game is there are 4 bishops and then a final boss. You have to have defeated the 4 bishops. You don't have to have finished the defeated the final boss to be able to play any of the Woolhaven content. So the good news is that I had done that. I had spent a lot of time with Cult of the Lamb. My gameplay clock said I had over 60 hours, which is bananas.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah. And yeah, I played a lot of Cult of the Lamb, and I don't think I even realized that I had played that much of it, honestly, but I knew that I had spent quite some time with it and had done all the things. And the only reason I couldn't have cooled on it is because I felt like I had done what I wanted to do.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing left to do.
Right. So yeah, I'm I was kind of the right person for this. I think there's probably quite a few people who were. Otherwise, they would not have tuned the DLC or the expansion pack specifically for endgame players. But yeah, if you're like, oh, I'm not interested in playing kind of the original OG Cult of the Lamb, I want to just play the Woolhaven one, you kind of can't. You need to have a copy of the base game, and you need to have gotten pretty far into it. There's one review I said that somebody was able to like get up to speed in about 10 hours. And I'm like, I have no idea how you do that. Yeah. There's no way. That was not how I was playing Cult of the Lamb. So the hook in this, for anybody who didn't know, the original is your little lamb who gets sacrificed as part of a cult ritual. And then there is a fallen god who swoops in at the last minute to save your life and basically says, you, lamb, you should organize a cult in my honor, defeat these bishops to release me, and we'll rule the world together. And then it kind of turns into basically a village sim from that point. You recruit people into your cult. You build facilities to house them and to feed them and to clothe them. You occasionally run missions. There's quite a few different kind of like procedurally generated dungeons that you can access, and it has a full complement of cool weapons and upgrades and magic abilities and things like that. So you get this kind of split cycle where you're raiding and running dungeons and fighting monsters and taking on big bosses. And through all of that, you're collecting resources that you then bring back to your village to keep your cultists fed and engaged. There occasionally will be cultists who will speak out against you, or if you don't feed them quickly enough, there will be an uprising and people will leave the cult. So you have to keep them kind of placated and hanging on your every word. And the first game had a ton of different types of cultists and different kinds of buildings and things you could do in your village. They added a bunch of content for the dungeons and for raiding and new weapons and things like that. The Woolhaven add-on, this new add-on, adds a whole other story mode to it with 2 new dungeons, which apparently have a ton of different weapons and a bunch of different types of enemies and a couple of different big boss enemies that you can take on. And it also adds a weather system with a whole cold weather mechanic. It is apparently quite cold in Woolhaven. There's a 5-tier storm system where you will get ravaged with very crazy, and this is interesting in light of the winter storm that has recently torn up the East Coast here. Really bad snowstorms, and then snow and cold weather survival becomes an element of managing your cult. And you've got to build furnaces and warming huts and hot tubs and things like that to keep your cultists warm, or they'll start dying or they'll start leaving.
Why is it always like the winter expansion? It's like that's immediately where every game goes. It was like Diablo 2, I think, had that Monster Hunter.
Oh, interesting.
It's because I like Final Fantasy 14. The first expansion was sort of up north. I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Because it's cold on the East Coast and we're all dying right now. No, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's I don't know. I mean, it's easier to maybe survive summer than it is winter, and maybe it's just an easy place to go when you want to make a video game that is by design a little more difficult.
Yeah, I was like, Battlefield 2142 had a winter expansion, despite the base game already taking place in like a modern ice age. So they just went even more wintry. They're just like, can't get enough, and also we have no other ideas. I'm gonna put together a list.
Yeah. But this adds a ton of stuff that sort of is based on that. So it'll snow occasionally. Sometimes it's just like a little bit of snow on the ground or snow in the air, and sometimes it's a crazy blizzard. And you have to have sort of resources for keeping your villagers warm. You have to keep them fed. It's really hard to grow crops, obviously, when it's snow on the ground. So you have to find other ways to secure food. Usually through raiding, but it does have an animal ranching component that they add with this DLC. I'm not interested in doing that because I think that's gross.
That's it's questionable that a sheep is doing animal ranching.
Yeah.
Wait, is it an actual sheep, or it's like somebody disguised as a sheep?
You're a sheep. Yeah.
You're a sheep. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a sheep ranch?
No, there's no. Maybe no. I don't think you can ranch any sheep. That'd be weird. That'd be even weirder. There's yaks, llamas, cows. But you can use the yaks for wool, which is still not vegan. And I guess I don't want my sort of animal ranching game to try to be vegan, but it's little weird. Still makes me feel kind of squinchy. I mostly fed my my cult a maybe probably vegetarian diet in the base game for 60 hours. So I'm not going to start feeding them meat now when the weather gets bad. But it's my personal choice, I guess, and nobody else has to play it that way if they don't want to.
That's cool. That's an option, but they just don't. It's not built in that you're sort of expected to give them animal products at some point.
Yeah. There's a whole like big menu of different types of food you can feed your villagers, and some of them are like, you couldn't find any food, so I just picked grass, and now you have to eat grass. You can actually find there's a benefit to, you can pick these little perks, and one of them is like an all grass diet perk if you don't want to farm resources or grow plants. I have a very robust farming system on my my compound, and I grow cauliflower and berries and pumpkins and a bunch of other cool veggies. But you could just pick and grow grass and feed it to your villagers, and sometimes there's like a 60% chance it'll make your villagers vomit. But you can activate this perk that makes them immune to the grass vomiting. And so if you're super lazy or don't care about feeding them an interesting diet, you could just feed them grass all the time and they won't puke.
I mean, they don't care because they're just all indoctrinated into your cult.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, no, we actually want to only eat grass.
Yeah. So what else is in there? They added co-op for the Woolhaven DLC, which is super interesting. I don't have somebody to play with at this point, but I guess you could play co-op for some of the dungeons and cult management aspects of the game, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. There's a bunch of other, like, you can double the size of your compound. There's like 17 new buildings in it. There's a bunch of new like decor items and stuff like that for dressing up your compound and your church and all the other sort of fun stuff that happens there.
Do the facilities have like functions that they do, or are they just cosmetic?
Oh no, they have functions. There's you can build. What do I have on my compound? I have little offering shrines where villagers can give you a portion of their savings because it's a cult, or they'll leave their dear leader gifts. Sometimes you'll go and they'll have little gems or necklaces, or sometimes they'll leave you food offerings and stuff like that, and you can then, feed the food back to the cultists and things like that. What else? I have a couple of different resources for processing wood and for processing stone. And then there's refineries. You have somebody who's working on refining all the time, and they can turn raw wood into planks that you can then use to build outbuildings and stuff like that. I have a prison. If you have anybody who is speaking out against the cult, you can put them in prison and re-indoctrinate them over the course of a couple days. So it puts them in little shackles with their head through the thing, like in the cowboy westerns.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to go to them once a day, and you sort of re-educate them, basically. There's a bunch of things like that. You have outhouses, and you can recycle the waste from the outhouses to be fertilizer. Or you can force a villager to eat it if you're that kind of cult leader. There's a ton of buildings that have some purpose. There's 4 or 5 different types of housing. You have to figure out what to do with dead bodies, because villagers will grow old and fall over and die, and you have to either bury them somewhere, or they become a health problem, and disease will take over your cult and people will start dying. Or there is a function where you can harvest the meat from people who die and feed them back to your cultists. I don't do that. I think that's disgusting.
Yeah,
so there's a lot
great.
of really gross options for managing your cult and Cult of the Lamb, and I think I'm a very nice cult leader.
Are these so are your cultist followers, are these also sheep? Are these like humans?
There's like 40 different types of characters in this, and they're all, it's sort of the Animal Crossing roster of critters.
Those are all other animals?
They're all other animals, yeah. There's no human analogs. They're all animals.
All right.
Yeah. One of the DLC packs shortly after the game came out added like 15 new villager types and stuff like that. So there's tons of different, I keep finding ones and there's like sci-fi ones in there too. There's like somebody whose head has like spider legs out of it, and somebody. Yeah. So there's a bunch of like weird, spooky ones. I think they did a Halloween expansion at some point that had like spooky villagers and things like that. So,
that's weird.
It's cool.
That's not like an archetype. Somebody with spider legs on their head.
Yeah, I don't know. It gives you variety, because my cult typically has about 25 villagers in it, and I mostly recognize them by sight. So I try to keep all of the little archetypes or the little avatars of the different villagers like a different type of thing. So when I see them kind of running around the compound, I know, that's this character. He's a level 6. When they get to level 10, they become the Risen, and you can get them to do errands for you and go on missions and stuff like that. Ooh. And they'll actually go out and find resources, or they'll convert new people to join your cult, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's value in leveling them up so they actually become officers in your cult and can do things for you.
They go out and start another branch of your cult somewhere else.
Oh, we got to shut that down. We're shutting that down.
They're not allowed to do that? Okay.
That doesn't happen. They will occasionally, if they feel neglected, they will, like I said, within the cult, they will speak out against you.
No. This would be, it's all in service of the great leader. They're not starting a rival branch.
Oh, just a chapter. Yeah.
Yeah, a chapter there. That's what I wanted to say.
I don't think that's a component of the game, at least not one that I've ever found, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I sound like a crazy person. I hear myself talking, and I know this sounds insane. But the game is really fun. It has a loop that I really, really like. It reminds me of what was the game where you Moonlighter, where during the day you ran a shop and you sold cool things, and at night you were a dungeon crawler and you had to get things that you could then sell in your shop during the day. And I really like kind of the Cult of the Lamb has this kind of duality to it as well, as where you're a cult leader during the day, and at night you're a dungeon raider and you're getting resources to support your cult. And all of the little mechanics and all the little systems that kind of interact with each other are super fun. And again, like Animal Crossing, I have my kind of routine where like I'll run a raid and I'll bring back resources and come back a hero, and the villagers will all celebrate me. And then I'll run around and I'll do some housekeeping, and I'll clean up, and I'll cook a bunch of meals so that they eat while I'm away, and et cetera, et cetera. Make sure that somebody's refining wood and that they're building the next expansion on my church, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I'll go run some missions again and kill some bosses. And it's just, I find it very satisfying to kind of have that loop and that system and that routine kind of built into a video game. And I think Cult of the Lamb does it really well. And it's cool in this Woolhaven DLC that there's a couple of other things trying to kill you all the time, and things trying to sort of keep you down, and little systems you have to kind of overcome. And it just, again, gives you more buildings and more types of villagers and more bosses to fight and new weapons to fight them with and things like that. So it is a little more of the same, but what it had was good. And what I really wanted from it was a way to keep that going. And
more stuff to do.
Yeah, Woolhaven seems to do that. It doesn't break the routine at all, but it just gives you more other things to play around with.
That's pretty good. That sounds like sort of the ideal expansion pack.
Definitely. I think it's a win. It's different enough that it feels fresh, but it doesn't kind of break the thing that made the original good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I don't know how many millions more hours I need to play of this. I'm not quite at the end of Woolhaven yet, but I've gone pretty hard at it since it came out last week. But I like it. It's a good time. And I like this little weird world, and this kind of cutesy, creepy kind of aesthetic anyways totally works for me. So it's a good time.
Cool.
So would recommend, if you are far enough along in Cult of the Lamb that you're itching for more things to do, Woolhaven DLC is definitely worth $20. If you've not played Cult of the Lamb, the vanilla game, I think is like $6 this week, $7 this week. It's super easy and super cheap to get into, and you might have fun with it. If you're sensitive to like kind of dark themes and stuff like that, this might not be the game for you. It does get a little squinchy sometimes if you want it to be. Like I said, you can be a pretty nasty cult leader if you wanted to really abuse the people in your group.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's all up to you, though. So
totally, yes.
Just how much you want to have to deal with the consequences of your own decisions.
There are things in the game, circumstances in the game that put you in situations where you have to make difficult decisions, and that sort of makes sense for what the game is, right? There is a boss who can control minds, and he will get two of your villagers to fight against you. And as they're fighting you, they're like, "I'm so sorry. I wish I could stop this. I don't know how to stop this." And you have a choice to, like, you can kill them and release them, but you're killing two of your villagers, and now you're two people down. And maybe you've spent the last 46 days with these villagers, and you kind of like them. But I have found that you can avoid that. You can just leave. You can walk away. I never thought that was an option.
But then just keep fighting each other forever?
No, you leave and don't give the boss the satisfaction of seeing you fight your villagers. Yeah.
Oh, they're fighting you. They're not fighting each other.
Correct. Yes, they're fighting you.
I see.
So again, for every sort of like kind of horrible, dark thing that you can do in the game, there is some available balance to it, which I kind of like.
Interesting.
I can only imagine the developers kind of twisting themselves in knots, trying to sort of like entertain all of these potential paths for what kind of cult leader you want to be. But I think they've done a pretty admirable job of making it entertaining without it sort of ever feeling like like back to Telltale, like are you a chaotic evil or chaotic good or whatever?
Yeah.
You're just sort of whatever the circumstance requires at the time or whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, so can you be like a benevolent cult leader, just like treating everybody great, and nobody ever has to eat grass and that sort of thing?
Yeah. I think I am that kind of cult leader. You have to work a little harder at it, because you're trying to keep all of your systems kind of in the positive. But that's mostly how I've been managing my cult. Every now and then I'll go on a raid that is longer than I think it will be. And a couple of days will have gone by, and I'll come back and it'll be like chaos in the village. Like 2 of the elders have fallen over dead. Plague has broken out within your cult and 2 people have died, and et cetera. So like all these things, like nobody's eaten in 4 days because you were away for so long. So yeah, I'm like, oh no, I can't leave, or I have to find officers and develop my team to be able to be self-sustaining. Recently sort of figured out that you can promote somebody to chef, and they will actually cook food for your villagers to eat while you're away. So it takes some of those systems out of your hand, and you can leave the village for longer if you need to and run bigger missions and stay in the dungeons longer if you want to. So again, for every sort of like negative system in the game, there is a way to sort of balance it so that you can, if you want to be kind of a good guy or a good sheep, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider doing like a full dark side run where you're just like making the worst decisions?
No, I don't think I've entertained that. It's I mean, it's really gross. It's a lot of stuff like human sacrifice on every day. And it's really punitive. Like if somebody speaks out against you, rather than just putting them in the stockade and re-educating them, you could sacrifice them publicly. You can,
that's kind of gross.
If there are villagers that are shy, you can bully them. And I've never used that function. That just sounds awful. So I don't know. It's a video game, and I know that's silly, but like, I don't even want to be a bad guy in a video game, I guess.
Yeah, man. It was so fun in like Mass Effect, though.
Yeah. Maybe it is fun in this, but I just, thematically, that's not my style.
I guess it really comes down to like, I don't know how goofy it can possibly be if you're doing sacrifices or like bullying somebody, but I feel like a lot of the stuff in like Mass Effect, and I know there are other games than just Mass Effect that let you sort of take the dark side route, but a lot of the choices were just sort of comical. Some of them were pretty malicious and evil though, so I don't know. There were some runs I did where I couldn't even bring myself to do the really bad stuff, so maybe it wasn't as dedicated as I expected. It'd be great though if they were like, they gave you a kind of a comical option or like a goofy option for all the quote unquote like negative decisions you can make around your cult. just keep it kind of light.
Yeah, I mean the whole aesthetic of the game is cute cartoon animals. So I think the balance to that is kind of all the darkness and all the bad choices you can make and kind of the evil you can do while you're this adorable big-eyed kind of anime goat.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Like if the way you sacrifice them was you like bop them with a hammer, a big cartoon hammer, and they turn into like one of those like cartoon meat on the bone things or something like that. That might be good.
Yeah. Well, email the developers, see what they can do for you. Right. So yeah, this was Cult of the Lamb. This is the Woolhaven expansion pack that just came out. It's on everything if you want to play it. I would recommend. I think it's a good time.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. I think that about does it. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We should wrap this thing up if I can find the window that has our outline in it. There it is. If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, you should follow us on Blue Sky. We're VGHangover.com there. And you can always get show notes and links and tell us what you thought about this episode at VGHangover.com. We would love for you to join us on Discord. You can hang out with us and chat about video games and other fun stuff. There is a link to that at VGHangover.com. And it would help us immensely if you would subscribe, rate, and review us on your podcasting app of choice, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube Music or anywhere else you can find a podcast, and maybe help us out by telling your friends about the show.
Yeah, we really appreciate that a lot. It helps us bring in new listeners. They can tell us all about their unsavory cult leadership practices. Just like, share recommendations with Randy, see who's got the most efficient cult going on.
I am adored by my cultists.
Adored. Okay, well, see, if you're more than adored than Randy, we would love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Who could be the best fear? Cult leader?
It's not my style.
I might be missing out. You never know. Anyway, we want to give thanks again to Ray 8-Bit for our new intro and outro music this week. If you'd like to hear more of his work, you can go to ray8bit.bandcamp.com and download the whole discography. it's Bandcamp Friday this Friday, February the 6th. So what better way to celebrate new music than actually buying that whole discography? Just add a bunch of extra zeros on the end of your cart when you check out. That would be amazing.
Fantastic.
But no, seriously, that's something you should go and take a listen to, because it's good stuff.
And tell them Video Game Hangover sent you.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We'll be back Monday night. TJ will be streaming Platform 8 on Monday, February 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you go to twitch.tv/VGHangover for that. And then we'll be back in your ears a week later with a whole new episode here of the podcast. Until then, this is Randy Dickinson.
This is TJ Ross.
Thanks for listening to Video Game Hangover. Goodbye.
Good night.
See ya.